Well, the heart is usually the organ known for love, but for one Illinois couple, their romance began with a liver transplant. Joining us now with their incredible love stories, Heather Kruger and Christopher Dempsey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
This is a wonderful story for Valentine's weekend, and it begins with a diagnosis that happened to you back in 2014. Can you take us back to that?
March 2014, I had been sick for the past year, and finally at the University of Illinois in Chicago, they diagnosed me with stage 4 liver disease. Then 2 months later, I went into liver failure, and at that point they said I had less than 50% chance of living another 2 months.
And Christopher, that's something that you heard people talking about. You were just standing around, you overheard this conversation about her plight.
Yes. It was at lunchtime. I overheard a coworker talking about his cousin that was in this situation, and I just thought, you know, if I was in this situation, if somebody in my family was in this situation, I would want somebody to help out. So I decided that I was going to go get tested.
That's so remarkable, and you say that as if anyone would do that, but that's certainly not the case. So you went and you were tested, and you found out that you were a match.
I found out I was a match, and then right after I found out, I had called Heather. That was the first time I spoke with her at all, you know, on the phone, and let her know that I was going to be her donor.
So that was the first time that you spoke,
yes.
And then you go through the surgery, and then you wake up and you're in the ICU. Where does the love story begin?
Kind of beforehand, actually, before the surgery, we started hanging out more. Our families had met, gone out to dinner, and that's kind of when I knew this was going to be more than just...
How did you know?
Well, like she said, we started spending more and more time together. My motorcycle club decided that they were going to host a benefit to raise money for her hospital bills and stuff like that. So we spent more time together getting donations and stuff for this benefit. And I just thought, you know, she was going through this whole thing with a smile on her face. And, you know, I just thought that this would be somebody I would want to get to know.
And 12 days after you left ICU, you weren't just thinking about it anymore. You wanted to make it official, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you do that?
I just kind of asked her if she would be my girlfriend, and we make it official, and she said yeah. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
And so you're engaged.
We are engaged
to be married?
Yes.
And what message would you share for other young couples, or really anyone at home? What do you hope that your story inspires them to do?
I just hope that this brings awareness for the organ donation process, and let people know they can change somebody's life dramatically by being a donor if it's something they can do. I know it's a big commitment and stuff like that, but you can change somebody's life drastically.
And everyone, I'm sure, wants to know, how are you both doing today?
Absolutely perfect.
Doing great?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when's the date? Do you have a date yet for the wedding?
October 15th of this year.
Very soon, coming up.
Yes.
Before you know it, it will be here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Valentine's
Thank
Day.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Story.